I'm gonna need everybody to bow our heads, close our eyes, and say a prayer for one A'ja Wilson. She just survived an encounter, a scary encounter, a deadly encounter with a Caitlin Clark fan. I'm not sure how she escaped unscathed. I'm not sure how she managed to keep it all together, but A'ja Wilson is a survivor, folks. That's right. This weekend, she came face to face with a Caitlin Clark fan, and she got out of there
A'ja Wilson went to a Miami Heat game to support her friend Bam Adebayo. Simple, right? Just some basketball, good vibes, and a night out. But things quickly got complicated. 2 seats away, a Caitlin Clark fan was rocking a bright number 22 jersey, and let's just say, Wilson's reaction was everything. The internet noticed, the memes were ready, and the drama? Instant. Now, the real question. If you were sitting next to A'ja Wilson and someone showed up in a Caitlin Clark jersey, what would you do? Own it, or hide? Drop your thoughts below.
If you guys didn't see, A'ja Wilson, they posted about A'ja Wilson being in Miami for a Heat game, and I'm gonna be honest here. Person sitting beside her at a Heat game is wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey.
A'ja Wilson is having a rough off-season, and honestly, we all need to send some thoughts and prayers her way. This past weekend, she survived a truly traumatic experience, one nobody should ever have to face. She came face to face with the most dangerous thing imaginable in her world, a Caitlin Clark fan wearing a bright number 22 jersey. And it wasn't across the arena or somewhere far away. No, this fan was 2 seats away. The only thing standing between Wilson and this embodiment of all her WNBA frustrations? Her bag. That's it. One bag separating the WNBA MVP from someone repping the player who seems to get all the attention she thinks she deserves. The arena might have been full of thousands, but in that moment, it was just Wilson, one fan, and sheer tension.
Obviously is the WNBA MVP. And there is absolutely no question about it. Even A'ja Wilson's biggest fan will admit that, like, A'ja Wilson does not like, and I'm not saying she doesn't like Caitlin Clark. She doesn't like the fact that she's not the face of the league. Like, she doesn't. And A'ja Wilson fans will respond by saying she is the face of the league. Which she's not. She's not the face of the league. And this is, again, proving that even more.
Let's set the scene, because this is pure comedy gold. A'ja Wilson showed up at a Miami Heat game to support Bam Adebayo, her off-season training partner. And naturally, the internet has been debating one very serious question. Who's teaching who? Is Bam showing Wilson some of his NBA tricks? Or is Wilson schooling Bam in WNBA finesse? Given that Bam is a multi-time NBA All-Star and Wilson dominates the WNBA, you can probably guess the answer. But her fans aren't having it. They insist Wilson is over there teaching Bam how to hit the jump hook in the post and perfect the step back. Sure, let's go with that. Comedy writes itself.
Face to face, yep, you see it right there. 1 seat over with a Caitlin Clark fan in the wild. I know she's scared that things are going to pop.
A'ja Wilson is having a rough off-season, and honestly, we all need to send some thoughts and prayers her way. This past weekend, she survived a truly traumatic experience, one nobody should ever have to face. She came face to face with the most dangerous thing imaginable in her world, a Caitlin Clark fan wearing a bright number 22 jersey. And it wasn't across the arena or somewhere far away. No, this fan was 2 seats away. The only thing standing between Wilson and this embodiment of all her WNBA frustrations? Her bag. That's it. One bag separating the WNBA MVP from someone repping the player who seems to get all the attention she thinks she deserves. The arena might have been full of thousands, but in that moment, it was just Wilson, one fan, and sheer tension.
Let's watch A'ja Wilson act so mature in this moment, keep herself together, and not react irrationally. Now, the funniest part about this, and I'm sure this is a coincidence, is how as soon as A'ja Wilson starts turning her head, the guy, the kid, starts turning his head the other way too. It's like he's on his phone in the peripherals, sees Asia start to turn, and then he's like, oh yeah, what's going on over there?
So there's Wilson, courtside, ready for a chill night of basketball. She glances to her left, and there it is. A Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever jersey. Bright, unmistakable, impossible to ignore. Number 22 staring her down like a personal attack. But the absolute best part? What happened next? As soon as Wilson starts turning her head to look at it, the guy wearing the jersey instantly starts turning his head the other way. It's like he could feel her gaze in his peripheral vision. He's just there, on his phone, minding his business. Until suddenly, Wilson's eyes are locked on him. And just like that, he pivots away, phone raised like, oh, what's over there? Let me check my messages real quick. The tension, the silent standoff, the drama, all contained in one small section of the arena. Comedy gold. That's peak comedy. The universe clearly has a sense of humor. This poor kid probably had no idea Wilson was even going to be at the game. He just loves Caitlin Clark and figured, why not wear her jersey to an NBA game? And then, he ends up 2 seats away from the one person in the entire arena who least wants to see that jersey. The odds of that happening are astronomical. And yet, it happened. Naturally, the internet erupted. But here's why this moment is pure perfection. It's not random. There's context. A.A. Wilson has been very clear over the past couple of years. Caitlin Clark's popularity bothers her. She's done interviews talking about how frustrating it is to feel overlooked, how she doesn't get the recognition she deserves, and how she sometimes feels swept under the rug. She even told ESPN she dreaded being in Indiana, not because of the city itself, but because she worried about drama with Caitlin Clark fans. So yeah, this moment, comedy, chaos, and cosmic timing all rolled into one bright number 22 jersey. Wilson has said it herself, all the attention around Caitlin Clark strips away the pure love of the game. She has to constantly take the high road, and it's exhausting. She feels damned if she does, damned if she doesn't when it comes to handling the criticism and noise surrounding Clark. So with that context, you can understand why sitting next to a Caitlin Clark fan at a Heat game is basically Wilson's personal nightmare. This is the exact scenario she's been trying to avoid. She goes to an NBA game to support her friend, thinking she might escape the WNBA drama for one night, and boom. There it is, a bright number 22 jersey, right next to her. She can't escape it. Caitlin Clark's presence follows her everywhere, even when Clark isn't physically there. Unsurprisingly, the internet had a field day. Comments poured in, can't shake CC, or Caitlin Clark jersey spotted from anywhere. A nod to Clark's ability to hit threes from anywhere on the court. One user even joked, we see you when you're sleeping. We know when you're awake. Some Caitlin Clark Santa Claus stalker version. The situation was ridiculous. The tension, the cosmic timing, the memes. It was absolute chaos wrapped in comedy. Another person commented that Wilson's blood must be boiling inside, and if you zoom in, you could probably see steam coming out of her ears. The jokes kept coming. Imagine being the face of the WNBA, showing up to a basketball game, and the only jersey you see is Caitlin Clark's. Some even said, don't let the views fool you. I'm seeing more CC fans than actual Heat fans. Yeah, traumatic for Wilson. The situation wrote itself. People piled on because Wilson has made it so obvious that this stuff bothers her. Here's the thing, if Wilson had never said anything about Clark, if she hadn't complained about recognition in interviews, if she hadn't expressed frustration about Clark's popularity, nobody would care. This would have been just a random fan wearing a jersey. But because Wilson has been vocal, every interaction becomes a big deal. Every time she encounters anything Clark-related, people watch her reaction. And to her credit, in this moment, Wilson handled it like an adult. No scene. No dramatic exit. No confrontation. She just sat there. But the visual alone, Wilson, calmly sitting while number 22 glared at her from 2 seats away, was enough to send the internet into a frenzy. Everyone knows what she's thinking, everyone knows she noticed, and everyone knows it probably annoyed her. It's especially funny considering Wilson once told ESPN she dreaded being in Indiana because she didn't want anything to pop off with Clark fans. Did anything actually happen? No. But in her mind, it was a legitimate concern. And yet, here she is, at a Heat game in Miami, and a Clark fan is sitting right next to her anyway. Cosmic comedy at its finest. But here's the problem with Wilson's argument. Caitlin Clark's popularity isn't about race. It's about exciting basketball that casual fans love. Clark entered the WNBA with a massive built-in fan base from her college career. There are plenty of white WNBA players who don't get that kind of attention, and plenty of black players who do. Popularity in sports isn't about skin color. It's about entertainment value, personality, and timing. And let's be honest, Wilson saying she dreaded being in Indiana? That's a little ridiculous. She's a professional athlete. Indiana is just a city. Clark fans are just basketball fans. The idea that she was genuinely worried for her safety, or that drama would spontaneously erupt, is absurd. Moments like the Heat game prove it. A fan wore a Clark jersey next to her, and absolutely nothing happened. Normal people don't start drama over a basketball jersey. The funniest theory in the comments? That the fan knew Wilson would be there and deliberately wore the Clark jersey to troll her. Imagine plotting that out, checking Wilson's seat, buying a ticket next to her, and showing up in a bright number 22 jersey just to mess with her. That's next-level psychological warfare. But, realistically, it was probably just pure coincidence, which somehow makes it even funnier. What this moment really shows is that Caitlin Clark's cultural impact stretches far beyond the WNBA. People are wearing her jersey to NBA games. Her fans are everywhere. She's become a mainstream sports figure in a way very few WNBA players ever have. And while that might frustrate players like Wilson, who have accomplished more professionally, it's just reality. Popularity doesn't always line up with accolades, and this moment was proof of that, in the most comedic way possible. She can't escape Indiana. She can't escape the CC mania. It follows her everywhere. One comment summed it up perfectly. Imagine being the face of the league and walking into an arena where your jersey isn't anywhere to be seen, but a Caitlin Clark jersey is right next to you. That's got to sting. That's the kind of moment that makes you question whether you're truly the face of the league. Because if you were, people would be wearing your jersey to random NBA games, not someone else's. The truth? Wilson is an incredible player. She might be the best in the WNBA right now. Multiple MVP awards. Dominated the league for years. Accomplished everything you're supposed to accomplish to be considered great. And yet, none of that has translated into the kind of fan adoration Caitlin Clark receives. That gap. That's what frustrates Wilson. She's done everything right on the court, but the public has chosen someone else to obsess over. And yeah, that's not fair. She has every right to feel frustrated. But the way she's expressed it publicly has made her a target for jokes and criticism. Instead of quietly owning her accomplishments, she's spoken out about recognition, about the lack of fan love, and yes, about race. She's positioned herself as a victim of the system rather than letting her talent speak for itself. In that ESPN interview, the setup was obvious. The reporter asked, "The WNBA has taken off the past few years, but it feels weird this year. A lot of black women in the league have been criticized. Has that been a downer?" Classic ESPN, stirring the pot. And Wilson took the bait, saying her blood boils when people claim it's not about race, because in her view, it is. Clark captured the public's imagination in a way that can't be manufactured or forced. Wilson could have responded differently. She could have embraced Clark's success as good for the entire league, focused on her own accomplishments, and stayed above the drama. But instead, she's made it clear through her words and actions that Clark's popularity bothers her. And because of that, moments like the Heat game become instant content for everyone to laugh at. The internet has basically turned it into a meme. Caitlin Clark from anywhere has become a catchphrase, used whenever Clark pops up in unexpected places. Her fans have adopted it as a rallying cry, and it's become a symbol of just how unavoidable Clark's presence is in women's basketball right now. Every time something like the Heat game happens, it reinforces that narrative. Wilson now has a choice: continue letting Clark's popularity bother her and make it obvious, or accept it and focus on her own career. The truth is, Wilson will probably win more MVPs, win more championships, and cement her legacy as one of the greatest WNBA players ever. But she'll probably never be as popular as Caitlin Clark. And that's just reality. At the end of the day, Wilson survived her traumatic encounter with a Caitlin Clark jersey and lived to tell the tale. The internet had an absolute field day, and honestly, you can't blame them. When you make it so obvious that something bothers you, people notice every single time it happens. If this made you laugh, hit that like button and subscribe, because this saga is far from over. Caitlin Clark's reach isn't slowing down, and Wilson's reactions will always keep the internet entertained.